This guided meditation is brought to you by Journey to My Best Self. This is a practice that can be done in any posture. Just be relaxed, be at ease. See if you can begin to trace back all those people who are involved in your interest in meditation. Someone might have given you a book, read you a poem, played you a piece of music, told you about their meditation practice experience. Let a sense of them, recollection of them, come into the room with you. Consider including those who have really hurt you, not just those who you find a little bit annoying or irritating, but someone whose actions have really brought you to an edge, that you almost said, I've got to find another way to be happy. I have to look more deeply into life. After all, they might play a part of why we are here as well. Maybe you had a teacher who instilled love of learning and a willingness to be adventurous. Maybe you had a parent who instilled confidence in your ability to try new things or explore new terrain. Maybe you have had a child who's opened you up to a sense of wonder and interest. Just let them be here with you now. Let's look at the clothing you're wearing. How many forms of life, how many people, how many beings have been involved in a growing of that fiber, creation of cloth, transporting it, selling it, the creation of the building in which you're sitting, or the stewards of the plot of land if you're outside. All the forms of life involved in the food that you have eaten today, creature in the earth who've planted that seed and nurtured that crop, did the harvest, transported the food, sold the food, prepared the food. You can see that none of us is actually independent, alone, or cut off. However alone we might feel sometimes. They're all a part of the greater fabric of life, this immense web of relationships and connections and influences, this immense web of interdependence. We arrive at this moment in time born by a sea and ocean of conditions. If we look at a tree, we can see it as just a tree, or we can look at a tree and sense the soil and everything that affects the quality of that soil, which is nourishing the tree. The rainfall, everything affecting the quality of that rainfall, the sunlight and the moonlight, the quality of the air. Is the tree just the tree, or the confluence of all those conditions coming together, moving, changing? And so too we can see ourselves. Meditation on seeing the good, even though our more habituated tendency might be to remember the things we have done wrong and the mistakes we have made, the things we regret. We can consciously shift our attention to include the good within ourselves, and so too when we look at others. This is not an exercise meant to deny that anything is wrong or regrettable, but we can look at somebody, really think about the mistakes they have made, then a tremendous sense of self and other and us and them can be reinforced. Whereas if we include even one good thing, if we can think of it, then a bridge is built so that we honestly and directly look at what's difficult. It's more from a stance of being side by side rather than across this huge gulf of seeming separation. Beginning with oneself just in a relaxed, easy posture. However you feel comfortable, see if you can think of one good thing you did yesterday. It may have been very big or very small. Maybe you smiled at somebody. Maybe you listened to them. Maybe you let go of some annoyance or a slow clerk at the store. Maybe you forgave yourself for not seeing something totally correctly. Maybe you were generous. Maybe you sat down to meditate. Maybe you thanked a bus driver. It's not conceit or arrogance to consider these things. It's quite nourishing, punishing to take delight in the good that lives through us that we can manifest. If at any time, whether within ourselves or somebody else, we cannot think of something good, then there's another reflection that we can do, just simply to recall that all things want to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. This urge towards happiness is nothing to be squeamish about or feel funny about. The problem is not to urge. The problem is arrogance, not really sensing where genuine happiness might be found. And so mistakes, trash that. And so making the mistakes that might cause so much suffering for ourselves or somebody else. That urge towards happiness itself is rightful, it's appropriate, and we can combine it with wisdom instead of with ignorance. It becomes like a homing instinct for freedom and can help us cut through many obstacles. Now we start with ourselves and then with others, looking for the good. If it's just not going to happen that way, we switch to this other reflection, recalling that all beings just want to be happy. Think of someone who's helped you. Here, their good qualities might come in a rush. You can appreciate that about them. Those aspects, efforts, acts of kindness. Think of a good friend. Appreciate the good within them. Think of someone you know who's having a difficult time right now. They're ill or hurting. Think of the good within them, the times they have reached out to others, their own sources of strength. You can see that this person is not just a problem, but something bigger. Think of someone you have a little bit of difficulty with, a conflict, unease. See if you can find some good reflected in things they have done, choices they have made. If not, you can switch to that other reflection, remembering that they too, just like each of us, wants to be happy. They want to be happy. Everybody wants the same sense of belonging, feeling at home in this body, this mind, this life. Ignorance is a very strong face. And we'll close with a few moments of the reflection that all beings want to be happy. May they be happy. You can silently repeat them over and over again. You can close the session with a few moments of reflection that all beings want to be happy. May they all be happy. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Your best self starts here.